All right, my name is Jake McCullough. My sources for this speech is the NRA Museum Catalog, Hunter's Ed website, Smith & Wesson magazine, and the Vintage News website. A gun is a tubular range weapon typically designed to discharge projectiles. It all started with the development of gunpowder, and it was developed around 1250 AD, but its origins are unknown. It could have been in China, Turkey, or Europe. Gunpowder was used in the early development of guns, and it was used to discharge the bullet out of the barrel. Within 50 years, early cannons had been developed. They were loaded first with gunpowder and then a projectile. The powder was ignited with a torch or a smoldering ember through a small hole in the rear. The rapidly expanding gases from the exploding gunpowder would throw the projectile from the barrel. This basic principle still applies today. It took another half century for this concept to be applied to individual handheld weapons. The first firearms were called hand cannons. They were basically miniature cannons that were, handheld. They were loaded and fired the same way as a full-size cannon. For the next 4 centuries, the greatest advances of the evolution of firearms were focused primarily on the search for more reliable methods of igniting gunpowder, in addition to design advances for more rapid shots and better accuracy. The first gun to combine all 3 components was the matchlock, and it was developed around in the 1400s. Many early hand cannons were ignited with a slow match. A slow match is a fuse that has been chemically treated so that the end could be ignited. Obviously, it was awkward to hold both the match and the gun to the touch hole of the hand cannon. So later on, repeating firearms were introduced in 1836. A repeating firearm, or repeater, is a firearm that holds more than 1 cartridge and can be fired more than once between charges. Some repeating firearms require manipulation of a bolt or a lever or an eject slide that ejects the fired cartridge case. A revolver is an example of a repeating firearm. A revolver is a unique type of firearm in which a rotating cylinder holds a number of cartridges. The cylinder revolves to align each chamber to the rear of the barrel. So the cylinder serves as both the magazine and the firing chamber. There are also single shot and multiple barrel firearms, which hold only 1 cartridge per barrel and must be reloaded manually between shots. Though they are slower to reload than other firearms, single action revolvers are of a simple, strong design and are still made today, even though now they're used more for hunting than self-defense. And then you got the first successful rapid fire firearm is the Gatling gun, and it was invented by Richard Gatlin and fielded by the Union forces during the American Civil War in the 1860s. It is operated by a hand crank and rotates multiple barrels. The Gatling gun needs a 4-man crew to function and has many upgrades since its introduction. Later on, the world's first submachine gun that was able to be maneuvered by a single soldier is the MP-18. A submachine gun is a fully automatic firearm that shoots pistol cartridges. The MP-18 was introduced into service in 1918 as a primary weapon. During the war, they manufactured more expensive, finely crafted subs such as the Thompson, and they moved away from those in favor of the cheaper models that were quicker to manufacture, such as the M3. The first successful automatic rifle was introduced during World War II by the Germans and was known as the STG-44. It was the first ever firearm that bridged the gap between long-range rifles, machine guns, and short-range submachine guns. The automatic rifle was more powerful and had longer ranges than the subs, yet can be used in close environments, and it can be fired on fully automatic on the shoulder, which other bigger light machine guns couldn't. These simple firearm developments still apply today. Guns have dramatically advanced over time, and they will continue to advance as technology advances.